Right, thanks to Hotclickmarketing for supporting this video. For more information, go to their website. City lead tonight's Champions League tie by 2-1. The first leg happened more than 5 months ago. How the world has changed since then. Had the second leg of this tie taken place in March, as it should have done, I think emotions would have been much higher against UEFA because the CAS appeal still hadn't happened. And of course the 1894 group had a banner ready to show in the ground. Not only will that banner not be shown, but the Guard of Honour now for David Silva can't go ahead either because of local lockdowns.
You know, we'd offered to make it safe. I think when people looked at the scale of it, they really then started going, we don't want this happening now at this time in Manchester, and there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, people need to understand there's nothing we can do about it. It is annoying, but if it went wrong, you know, if we organised it and it went wrong, something bad happened off the back of it, you know, we would get the blame. And there's so many things that we kind of still need to do with the club because, you know, we want to improve the atmosphere. But if we can't do it, then that's us finished, isn't it? So we can't do it. We have to be able to live another day. So I think everybody's just said, well, unfortunately, we're going to do it. There was obviously we've got the enthusiasm. The club maybe okay tolerating it. Maybe wants to see that, you know, people behaving themselves would look good for their media and TV and everything. But the police could have done this. If they said they don't want it to happen, they could have said that 3 weeks ago and saved a lot of us a lot of work.
Well, in the end, the club and the 1894 group and the police decided to call off the welcome, but it still happened.
It's a shame we don't have fans there, because the booing of the anthem would have been ridiculous upon that second leg. I think I think as much as Pep says it won't give the squad a motivation, I think it gives the whole club motivation from the top to the bottom. Like just to get one over on UEFA. Imagine beating UEFA at CAS and then lifting the trophy which they tried to exclude us from. It'd be so good, and I think it does. I think there is a fire in Pep's belly. I think we've seen that from his press conferences. He was a bit ticked off, and he demanded an apology from a lot of people after that CAS decision.
He's such a charismatic person, you know, very connected with. For a private person, I think he's very connected with the fans, and I just think he epitomises City completely. So
it feels to me as if you're going to have a tear in your eye.
Oh, God,
he already has.
Do you know what? I've got my black armband ready. This will be like losing a member of the family. It's just, it's difficult to describe this. I think
is it even more painful the fact you can't be there?
It is,
I think so.
and I think the fact that we've got to wait for him coming back makes it even worse. But to watch this man come in and watch everything he's brought to City, the trials and tribulations with his family, with Matteo, you know, and all the kind words he's said about the fans, how they've been magnanimous towards him. He's just one of us. He's absolutely blue through and through.
I remember when I came home when we first qualified, and I said we just weren't ready for Champions League. And I was in one of the lounges with Gary Owen, and when I said it on the microphone, I got booed. You know, and it's with this many years later. And it still hasn't happened. I think we've had great opportunities and sort of fluffed our lines a little bit. But I think this is probably the best opportunity of them all now, mate. And get through this hurdle. And I think you can you can sort of see the finishing line. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a grudge match. It's the big one for Pep. You know what I mean? It's especially now. When you think in football, things fall in line or things happen for a reason, or you know, the fact that I was in Madrid last year when the final was on, because before the Tottenham game, I'd booked my tickets, and I ended up saying, well, you know what, I've got flights, and I've got a hotel, and I'm going to go anyway. And you know, this for me is the big one, especially with Liverpool taking the title and the way they did, with us doing it last year and pipping them, and them going on to win the Champions League. I just think sometimes things are set out to happen, and I've got a funny feeling this is going to be the year, mate.
My father supports Atletico de Madrid, so because of him, I hate Real Madrid too. But since I was a kid at the school, when I don't know the way they are. I don't know the word in English. They think they are the best, and the rest of teams didn't work. You know, my friends, all of them supports Barcelona, and obviously supports Man City against Real Madrid. Supports Guardiola. You know, we hate Real Madrid, but at the moment my team is only Man City. I have only one team. My dream, I expect in a years live in Manchester and go to the Etihad Stadium to watch my team.
The UEFA thing, I think, is massive, and Real Madrid are like the ultimate UEFA club. They're like the darlings of European football, aren't they? You know, they've won it. They've won the competition so many times. Everyone loves them. They've got a seat at the table. They're the big. They are the biggest, probably the biggest club in the world. So to knock them out would be absolutely huge for the club. It's almost like a symbolism, isn't it? You know, we knocked them out of the ballpark in the court, and we could do it on the pitch as well. So I think to go through Real Madrid on the way to winning this trophy would be absolutely massive. And yeah, it's just another nail in the UEFA coffin as we head towards the trophy. I think if we were to knock them out, I think it'd be massive. And I do think the motivation is there because of that as well. I think Pep will really be nailing down the us against them mentality.
I think we're going to go for it. I think we're going to make a statement. We're going to try to blow them out of the water. I hope they do. I hope Pep picks the right team. I hope he picks the right team, because on any given day, if we're up for it, Ian, we can do the business.
I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, so we're in the southeastern part of America. I would say there are a decent amount of City fans. I've come across a few of them just between our own soccer club here in Nashville and meeting around.
I saw City play Real Madrid in a pre-season game in America a couple of years ago. It was in Los Angeles. There were so many Real Madrid fans there. Do you find that there are a lot of Real Madrid fans in Nashville where you live as well?
There is. It's funny. I work with some, and then one of my best friends, who's a Real Madrid friend, his family is originally from Spain. He's here. He was born here in America. But so we've been going back and forth prior to the first leg, and literally up until this conversation, we're texting back and forth saying, no, we're going to win. No, City's going to win. No, Real Madrid. So it's been interesting just to be prepared for this week.
If it had been most other teams, I wouldn't have had too many concerns. But Real Madrid have a magic attached to their name. I can remember the Real Madrid of the 50s, and ever since that time when Di Stefano and Puskás and Hento and people like that were in the team. There's a magic, a ring to it. And of course, they are a wonderful side. So I certainly am just a touch nervous about it. But that said, to go there and get a 2-1 victory, and the way that City hold the ball, and that's what it's about in the end. Real Madrid have got to score more than one at the Etihad. A 1-0 defeat for City is a victory with that away goal. But I don't really tend to look at it that way. I'm confident that City will have enough possession, hold the ball for a sufficient time to deny Real Madrid too many chances. And I always believe City will score anyway. So I'm still fairly confident that we'll be in Portugal in due course in the quarterfinals. And where should we play Juventus, I'd probably be a bit more worried about that than on just a one single game than Real Madrid at the Etihad.
We're in a pub. Well, it's like Wacky Warehouse with a bar. It's got all 10-pin bowling games, and it's like a Blackpool amusement park just outside Tampa. But it's got a huge big bar and huge big screens you can see behind me. We've got the flags up for the official Tampa Bay Blues. I'm surrounded here by Tampa Bay Blues. And there's a few more turning up. I've been nervous all day. I think had we played 2 weeks after the original date, I wouldn't have had an issue. But I don't know, Madrid have come back since the lockdown. I'm also a little bit worried that we may get stitched up by a referee, like we have done in the last 2 years, the last 2 quarterfinals. So I'm very nervous, very nervous.
Tell me what you thought of that. Tell me what you thought of it.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought Kyle Walker, man of the match. I just thought he was brilliant. Everything. It was just a Rodri. I've got to get in the picture. I'm taking a picture. I thought defensively we were brilliant. Up front, obviously Sterling, Jesus, Foden. They did the business quietly, but Rodri, Fernandinho, Kyle Walker was brilliant, and the referee was great. I don't know if you've seen the Lyon Juventus game, but I think they sent the referee and to the wrong game, because that's where the dodgy decisions were. I'm in the wrong way. But everybody from Tampa Bay, say hello from Tampa Bay. Thanks, Ian.
Intense. My nerves were shot an hour before kickoff. I didn't know what to think. The first goal with 9 minutes in was perfect. It settled me down, and I think it settled everybody down. But, our defense hasn't been that great this year, and lo and behold, we give up a goal and then spend the next, hour freaking out for the rest of the game. But Kyle Walker played fabulous down on the right-hand side. Cancelo was all right, gave up that one chance. But other than that, I think in the second half, he really I think they lit a fire under him, and he performed well in the second half. But overall, I think you do it, and they did what you're supposed to do in a tournament like this, is win in advance, whatever it looks like. If it's ugly, if it's pretty, get the goals, secure the win, and advance. And they did that.
Leon in the next round, you must fancy that now.
Oh man, that was kind of the shocker. I thought Juventus was going to come around and finish that one off, but it's going to be a tough match. Honestly, who knows how it's going to feel with everybody all together in Portugal together. You would fancy City in the next round, but it's knockout. It's knockout football, so you don't really know what's going to happen. Anything could happen, but I think we got enough firepower to take care of it.
What a game. What a performance from Jesus. The first goal reminded me of Sean Gota against Gary Neville in the last Main Road derby. I'm sure you remember that one. It's just the same. Picking the pocket of Varane. The only difference was he didn't finish it himself. He unselfishly passed it to Sterling to finish. The second goal was a brilliant finish. I thought it was superb. And it's just so brilliant, Ian, to beat Madrid. Because you cannot imagine what they would be like, living here in Madrid and having to suffer them. They're unbearable at the best of times. So to knock them out, fantastic. You know.
You can open your windows now, and you won't be
I
able
know.
to hear.
Yeah. Oh, I was shouting loudly. You know, my wife was telling me, "Don't, be quiet, be quiet." I was going, "No, come on." Oh, brilliant, fantastic night. No, I was surprised. Second half, they just didn't. I mean, we controlled the game so well. They didn't put us under any pressure at all. Really, we didn't suffer at all in any moment.
I think we had a bit of an unsung hero there tonight with Gundogan. I thought he played fantastically well. Really, really did his job fantastically well. Kev was a bit quiet, which is great testament to him because, he was. I'm not saying he was played out of the game, but they knew how much of a danger he was. But I'm really, really pleased with tonight. Leon, that's going to be one difficult game, that. They play compact football. We've played them several times before, as you well know, and they've given us a couple of difficult games. So, not a foregone conclusion, but if we're going to win it, we've got to beat the best. But there's teams out there will be looking at us and saying, "I don't want to play Man City." No way, no way. So, absolutely delighted tonight. Over the moon. Over that blue moon.
Best thing about tonight was seeing David Silva come on. I think it was absolutely amazing, and I've written a poem about him.
So City through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League in Portugal. David Silva came on to make a cameo, almost scored the perfect free-kick goal to finish off his time at the Etihad Stadium. So it seems appropriate to finish this vlog with some prose about David Silva, because it is great to be a Blue, isn't it?
It's the end of an era. The memory of him will never fade. We had the pleasure of his magnificence for a truly outstanding decade. El Mago, Merlin, the magician, and even God were teams used in our house to describe this member of our squad. He's admired by his teammates, revered by many in his field. His skills have been sublime, his talent never to be concealed. Every wondrous description of his gifts have always been honest and true. It's been an honour and a privilege to watch this man in blue. He was a gift sent from heaven, our very own silver lining. From the first day he donned his blue shirt, we knew he was City's best ever signing. He may be small, but he is mighty. And I know that this sounds bold, but we all know that silver is the one thing better than gold. So as we say adios, we'll be thankful we had the pleasure of watching this marvellous man who leaves us with memories to treasure. There you go.
Big shout out to the 3 companies that have supported the products that I put out under the Forever Blue title throughout the year, the podcast and the vlogs. See you all soon.